We go. Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Known Classics. This is episode number 2406 and Doubleshot number 2300. Here's what we're reviewing: Wolverine 177 to 180, Wolverine Law of the Jungle, and also Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 4. And this is one I've been looking forward to discussing. Now, for Wolverine, we're discussing the last 10 issues to talk about for this series. Well, until recently, basically for first volume. For issues 177 to 180, this basically are, you can think of this basically as like, you have a two-parter and two standalone issues. Mostly put, you have a guy by the name of, if I can find the credits page here. His name is Matt Nixon. And he does the writing here for the next 4 issues. And these issues are sadly not in trade. And you're thinking, why aren't these in trade? The answer? I have no idea why in the world these issues are not in trade. But yet the following issues are. Yeah, so I find it a little weird. Yeah, mostly put Wolverine for these two because they got a group called the Shadow Pulpit. Yeah, it's 2-part set in the Vatican. Yeah, it's a quick 2-parter. And then, like, right afterwards, we have 2 standalone issues. You have one Wolverine teams up with Alpha Flight for an issue for 179. 180, you have a guy called Chuck Moss, who's basically an Earth Mover. Yeah, he becomes Alpha Flight. It's like 2 loosely connected Alpha Flight issues. And then we have the return of course, Frank Thierry to the book. Now, for these 6 issues, we have Essex Rubik on the cover artwork. And mostly put for these issues, it's Wolverine versus his crime family known as the Pizarro family. You think, really, the Pizarro family? Yeah, and here's the strange thing, though. In these issues, we have a guest star appearance by the frickin' Punisher. Yes, he appears in these very issues. Why is he here, you might ask? Well, basically, that's what he does. He pops up in issue 183, I think he pops 184. There's a guy called the Roman, who is basically, he's only here for 2 issues and he gets killed off here. Yeah, and Punisher, if you're really curious, he's there for 183. Is he there for any more issues of this run? Is he there for 184? I don't think so. $185, I think he's there for this one. By the finale, basically, the Bizarre family is, like, gone. Punisher does return for 186. Does the Bizarre family pop up in this book again? It's mostly just Punisher versus Wolverine for a whole issue. And you have the Dotsons on the artwork. Yep. And that's pretty much it here when it comes to Wolverine Volume 2. Yeah, there is like nothing else to discuss this book. Not really. Yep. Final thoughts on Volume 2. Because now, eventually, I have finished up Volume 2. So all that's left to go with Wolverine for his main ongoing series is just the current stuff. Yeah. Now, Volume 2, I'd say for the first 118 issues, they're like the issues that are by Chris Claremont, Peter David, Larry Hama, they're all really good. No bad issues, this bunch. I would say the weakest issues is probably the Warren Ellis issues, but afterwards, it still was interesting afterwards. Yeah, still really good stuff here. How does it feel about the Matt Nixon issues? Those are interesting at best. I do like the Alpha Flight stuff there. And as for the Frank Tier return issues, where his Return Weapon X was awesome. I love those issues and the annuals. But in the case of these last 6 issues here, this feels like something that should be for Punisher. It's like this is supposed to be a Punisher story reworked to be something related to Wolverine. Yep. And you're thinking, okay, since every 26, am I going to talk about the last 3 issues? No, because I've discussed this already. Look at my review for Wolverine by Danny Way, the Complete Collection, Volume 1. That's where you find the review for those. Yep. And with that, I am done with Volume 2. Volume 3 is done. Now, who succeeded, basically? Frank Tieri. Well, first was Danny Way, and then Greg Rucka. Mark Millar, who had 2 story arcs, Enemy of State and the Old Man Logan stuff. And I think after he left, it was Bill Jemas. Let's see. I know Mark Guggenheim did the Civil War 1 tie-in issues. Okay, but what about... as for the 2 standalone issues, you have Stuart Moore does issue 41 and 49. is done by Rob Williams. But then, of course, basically you have Jeff Loeb, who does the Evolution story arc. Yep. Which, basically, that was that 6-parter. Though he does come back for the sequel to this story arc later on. Yes, he does. And, of course, basically, then you have, right after he wraps up his run, and you have Jason Aaron do a run. Danny Way comes back with the book, obviously. Mostly put, at that point, you just have Danny Way and Jason Aaron take turns for story arcs until it gets taken by Docket, and then the book gets relaunched, and have Jason Aaron do the book for a while. Cullen Bunn comes in for a couple of story arcs, so Jeff Loeb comes in for one brief story arc. They have Paul Cornell do a couple of volumes. Charles Shaw does some stuff, and now currently have Ben Percy. I love all those runs. Now, basically, Wolverine is completely up to date, so Wolverine's off the list of basically older stuff to review. Now it's back to this particular Spider-Man. We're talking about particular Spider-Man Volume 4 Disassembled. This story arc in particular is the Disassembled tie-in for Spider-Man. I've already talked about Ben Disassembled, the tie-in for Fantastic Four, and now Spider-Man's turn. This book collects issues 15 and 20, and this has the debut of the Spider Queen. The Spider Queen appears in this story arc. Well, it's known for that and one other thing, which I'll get to later. Yeah, and this Spider Queen turns Spider-Man into a spider. You have Paul Jenkins on the writing, who does all the issues here, with artwork by Michael Ryan, Roberto Jones, and Paco Medina. And those are your writers. You basically have like a Disassembled Prelude, Captain America's a guest star. Now, here's the strange thing about this story arc per se, is that despite the fact it's clearly it's a tie-in to Disassembled, it has nothing to do with Disassembled. If you think about, like, okay, I have covered the Captain America tie-in, the Captain America Falcon tie-in, the Iron Man tie-in. Aside from this, I only have to go just the Thor one, which I will discuss at some later point. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the Queen. Yep. Which, after this story, she later returns in Spider Island, which came out 7 years later. Yeah, Slott brought back this character, this beautiful woman, to be the main villain of that story arc, where she died. And she stayed dead. She really died at the end of this set of issues, but she's brought back 7 years later for Spider Island, and she's killed off once again. Yeah, I don't really get why in the world they did this for. What they just had to do this. They basically created Queen. Yeah, Spider Queen. So apparently, this something interesting. The Queen is named after Bartolomeus' ex-girlfriend, Aurelia Soria. Yeah, she appears in these set of issues, and appears in the Spider Island stuff. And then she apparently is brought back for Marvel Knights Spider-Man Volume 2 for a couple issues. You might be curious, why the hell is she brought back this book? I have no idea. It's Matt not doing the book. It's weird. Yes?
Nikki, you didn't take care of your laundry out here. I looked at it a couple hours ago. It's just, first of all, I got an offer for your car. A 90 order out of Brooks Ole for $1,000, which I accepted per mom's instructions.
Okay.
They'll be down and pick it up on Wednesday. They're a tow truck driver. So I'll need from you the title. You signed it, and a deposit slip, so I can put in your check in your account.
Okay.
All right, can you get it to me by Wednesday?
The title is probably my safe.
Well, you need to look for it. Does it give me enough time?
Yes.
Don't look for it this second, but so how's that work?
Okay.
Yeah, go towards a deposit for your next car, right?
Okay.
I already told Mom, and she said yay. Okay.
Okay.
So that's some news for you. All right. So
okay.
Deposit slip, and you got deposit slips, right?
I don't remember if I do or not.
All right. Otherwise, I have to get one over the bank and your title, where you signed it. You don't have to necessarily date it, but at least you signed it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Spider Queen doesn't do much after this, not at all. And this is the third to last trade, the collect issue from this run, because there's 2 more trades after this, and that's it. What do I think of the story arc? It's pretty good. Okay, here's the negative about the story arc. This story arc here lays the groundwork for a very controversial story arc. What story arc is that? Spider-Man the Other. Because Spider-Man gets organic web shooters. He starts shooting web shooters out of his own wrist. Not the mechanical ones, organic web shooters. This starts it. Yep. Though people don't talk about that when it comes to story arc. Oh no. It's like they think that the other started that. Oh no, this started it. Yep, and sadly put, this fine will not last much longer after this. As a matter of fact, this fine will last for 8 more issues. You think you wait 8 more issues, and then there's like, what about the last trade? Well, it also collects some issues from Peter Parker's Spider-Man, which I'll get to that when I get to it. But I give this trade here I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Yep. For the Law of the Jungle, I'm gonna give that 8.5 because it just feels like a Punisher book, just Wolverine thrown in there by last minute. Yeah, and sadly put for Punisher, this was his last time appeared in the main. This one of the last times appeared in the main universe before he moved to Max Universe for a few years. Yep. So, in case those issues for Wolverine, Volume 2, for 177 to 186, those cover the time period of June of 2002, and we wrap it up with February of 2000, basically about a year's worth of comics. Yes. So, yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Next up is Super Tensai. And, well, then it's on to 2 more comic corners. Yep, to the next video. Okay, bye.